Let's round out the NFC East here and talk about the New York Giants. They need a linebacker, a tackle, a center. They've got the 5th and 7th pick in the first round, followed up by the 36th pick in the second round. They've got the picks to potentially help them move into the right direction. AJ, we're going to start with you here, sir. Who do the New York Giants need to go get in the round one?
Well, sir, I love it when a show has a full circle, everything comes back around. We talked about this earlier. We talked about the rumor mill. Well, your rumor's gonna come true. Is Jermaine Johnson a top 10 pick? You bet your ass he is. Round one, pick 7. If he's sitting there, Giants, go and get him. Go ahead and get your guy who had 18 tackles for a loss last year, who tied Aiden Hutchinson with 14 sacks last year. A guy who's got length, who knows how to get leverage, who has a motor, who's an Iron Man playing 60-plus snaps a game. This is the type of player that can come in and start a culture. Aaron talked about the chip this man has on his shoulder. Bailey talks about how he couldn't hack it at Georgia. Stop with the BS. Of course he could hack it. He understood what he needed to do to make a business decision. He went to Florida State. He showed out, and now he's a guy who is well on his way to going in the top 10 pick. If the Giants can get the guy there looking at 5 to bolster that offensive line, and you sitting there at number 7, you haven't found a suitor for James Bradbury, and he's likely to be on your team next season, go out, help him, give him a reason to stay by getting a culture-changing edge rusher like Jermaine Johnson out of Florida State at round 1, pick 7. Book it.
I like it. And I went with the 5th pick in the draft, so we don't even clash here. I'm okay if the Giants draft plays out like this. You take Jermaine Johnson with that 7th pick, and then you take my boy Evan Neal, offensive lineman out of Alabama, with this. This guy is an athletic freak. We saw the pictures after the around the combine time of the way this dude looks at 6'7", 350 pounds. Now, we know how good he is. We know how talented he is. He's one of the best offensive linemen in this draft. But when you're comparing him to Icky, when you're comparing him to guys like Charles Cross, maybe you're like, I don't know which one to pick. I don't know if Icky even falls this far to the Giants, even at 5. But let me make some comparisons here. Evan Neal is the only one, or had the most snaps at right tackle than all of these guys combined. Charles, not combined, but Charles Cross and Icky, Evan Neal had more snaps at right tackle than all those guys. You're not moving Andrew Thomas, who had a pretty good season last year for the Giants at left tackle. You're not moving him to the right side for one of these tackles. So you get the most comfortable guy for that right tackle side. We talk about his athleticism. I'm going to play this B-roll and move on. This guy is 6'7". I saw the comparison earlier today of Keith Lee. That's my comparison, Aaron. You love comparisons. This guy is over 6'5", 300+ pounds.
Amazing.
Evan Neal could do this shit. This is what you're getting with Evan Neal, New York. This is what you're getting. This is what you're getting.
Wait.
This right
do
here.
You have personal?
Evan Neal, right here. Let's go.
Do you have personal knowledge that Evan Neal could do that? I just wonder. All right, listen. I really
thought it was him. I was like, he wrestled? Oh shit!
I actually really like that idea. I think you've made a good point about Andrew Thomas being on the left side, and he did have a good year last year. And I was watching NFL Network earlier today, and there was a report that Giants executives said they only like one offensive lineman that's on their roster right now, and that's Andrew Thomas, which means they're probably going to address it. Evan Neal could fit into that right side, and then you could protect your quarterback, who after this season is probably not going to be Daniel Jones. Let's be honest. But in the meantime, maybe you go out and you take a late flyer on a guy who last year or a year ago was slated to be in the first round. He's supposed to be the first quarterback off the board. I think you wait, you get a 3rd round pick here, and you take Sam Howell. I know how much Dylan loves Sam Howell. I talked about him negatively the other day about how he got worse every year, and when he lost his weapons, he didn't perform. Those are still concerns of mine, but when you're in the 3rd round here and you have a team like the New York Giants, who obviously don't believe in Daniel Jones very much because they haven't even exercised his option yet, I think you can take a guy in the 3rd round that has perhaps some upside. Maybe you can get him with Brian Dable and he can get the best out of him like he did with the Josh Allen. And I will tell you one positive thing that I really like about Sam Howell. He is the best deep ball thrower in this draft. He is the most accurate, best deep ball thrower in this draft. He can sling the ball down the field. And Brian Dable worked with Josh Allen. Just saying, like that could be something that he could work with. Sam Howell in the 3rd round to the Giants, I think that would be a nice fit. And if they can get Evan Neal and Jermaine Johnson or one of those edge rushers in the 1st, good draft for the Giants. They got some good mid picks that they can make a big change on their roster this year.
If the Panthers don't take Malik Willis at 6, maybe they know Daniel Jones ain't gonna be there. They missed out on the Dwayne Haskins train. Maybe they grab Malik Willis at 7 and wait on some defense. Get themselves a bookend tackle at 5, and then get their guy next, knowing Daniel Jones ain't gonna be there.
I don't see how the Giants can take a quarterback that are. I mean, don't get me wrong, but I mean, Gettleman and them are gone, so it's a new regime. I don't think they're going to make that mistake again.
That drastic
decision. And I do think Brian Dable thinks he might have something in Daniel Jones. I think he's going to try to bring the best out of Daniel Jones. And if it doesn't work this year, then you say, okay, we move on. It'd be nice just to have a guy, a young guy behind who might have some potential.
Y'all going to laugh at me, and I'm okay with it.
We always laugh at you.
When I watched that Sam Howell tape, he got that Baker Mayfield stink. He got that Baker Mayfield stink. I just see Baker Mayfield with it, and I just smell Baker Mayfield.
The problem, but you bring that up.
It could be
no, that's fine. That's fine. You bring that up, but the problem is not necessarily the way Baker plays football. Like Baker was a number 1 overall pick. Baker got his team to the playoffs. Baker won games. Baker's problem is here. His maturity level is not great. He's not a professional. Being Baker Mayfield or being labeled Baker Mayfield, I don't think that's a bad thing. I mean, I don't think it's the worst thing that could possibly be.
Yeah, going to the Cleveland Browns is not bad. It just has that stink on it. You could lead them to the promised land. There's still potential there. It just got that stink, and it's going to be okay. Sam Howell, you got that stink. You can get that off. You can buy a nice cologne. You can.
I can't believe I defended Sam Howell on the show.
You did. You did, and you picked
and Baker Mayfield.
Well, no, you kind of buried. Well, 50-50.
Yeah, I mean, you got Baker's still serviceable. Baker should be a quarterback in this league somewhere.
Yeah. People definitely will take what we said about Baker Mayfield the wrong way because honestly, would you say Baker Mayfield is one of the best 32 quarterbacks in the league?
Yeah, for sure.
There you go.
Yeah, there you go.
It's as simple as it needs to be.
If Drew Lock can start, Baker Mayfield can start.
There you go.